So we're going to talk a little bit more about AutoSum. We're going to talk about selecting the ranges. It doesn't have to be just a column or a row. You can select multiple columns and rows and select the whole region of cells to sum. In fact, you can select non-contiguous ranges to sum, and the AutoSum command button enables you to do more than just sum. You can get the average of a selected range of numbers. You can find the maximum, the largest value in that range, the minimum value, or you can count the data points. So this is AutoSum Part 2. We already saw where I can select a range of cells. Excel will insert a sum function, applying the rules that we went over in the prior movie. And we can do this quickly by pressing Alt equal. I'm going to Control Z to undo that. What if what I want is the sum for all of the sales for the year, for all of the products, all 4 products, and all 4 quarters? I can enter a sum function in this cell by pressing Alt equal. Excel wants to sum all the numbers or the values that are in the cells to the left up until it hits the first cell that has a text string in it. But I can select a region for it to sum, Control Enter, and that gives me the sales for all 4 products for all 4 quarters. And knowing this, I'm going to delete that, I can get the sales for the first and second quarter. By inputting a sum function, by going to the Formula tab, left-clicking the sum function, and then selecting those 2 regions that contain that data that I want to sum. Control Enter. So I'm going to go down to the next cell. I can also input a sum function, Alt equal, and then grab the corners of the range and move it over the cells that contain the numbers that I want to sum. Control Enter. I can also input a sum function into this cell, select a range that includes the first quarter sales, press and hold the Control key down, and select another range. In this case, it's the fourth quarter sales. Control Enter. So I can sum 2 non-contiguous regions. I can also apply the sum rules to several different selections at the same time. They can be non-contiguous. That's one range, another range, another range, and 2 more ranges. And when I left-click AutoSum, I get a sum in all of those cells that's a result of the application of the rules that we talked about in the prior movie. In fact, when I select a range, I don't have to select the cell that's going to contain the sum function. Excel will just automatically put it in the first blank cell below the range that I've selected. Clicking the sum function, the same thing is true going horizontally. It'll input the sum function in the first blank cell to the right of the selected numbers. So the AutoSum function is pretty flexible. In fact, it's more flexible than just being able to sum numbers. We can get the average of a given range of numbers. By left-clicking the drop-down, we have a list of what is in effect 4 more functions: the average function, the count numbers function, the max function, and the min function. When we click average, the functionality of defining the region that contains the values in the cells that you want to average is exactly the same as the sum function. So I can select the first and quarter sales to average, Control Enter. I can input an average function here and define the range of cells by moving the box to cover the region that I want to select. Control Enter. And I can do it with non-contiguous areas too. Selecting quarter 1, holding down the Control key, and quarter 4, Control Enter. We won't belabor the point, but you can do the same thing with the max function by finding the maximum value in a range. Control Enter. The maximum value is 55,000. We can find the minimum value. Control Enter. Is 10,000. And we can count the numbers in a range of cells. Should be 8. So that's AutoSum Part 2. We took a look at different ways to select a region that contains the cells that we want to sum. This included selecting non-contiguous regions, and then we looked at the fact that AutoSum is more than just summing, that you can get the average, the maximum value, and the minimum value, and count the numbers in a range of selected cells.